ladies and gentlemen, Bethany is about to come on and absolutely rock the house, and she's going to activate and awaken you through this conversation. So make sure you stay tuned all the way through. If you're an entrepreneur or high achiever, got a sponsor message for you. If you haven't been getting your message out in a big way, as big as you'd like, attracting the clients, attracting the authority, the followership, and people who are tuning into what you have to share, come talk to me. I love helping people with their purpose, their presence, and their platform, especially people launching their podcast. It's a blast. So if you want to find out more, chris@beergps.com, or find me on Facebook and message me there. Next up is going to be the iTunes review of the week. And this week, let's see who it's by. It is by Mr. Thomas S. Rousseau Jr. And Thomas says, Chris Burns brings out the best in all of us. I have listened to several of the podcasts, and I'm continuously impressed with Chris's genuine enthusiasm for not just his guests, but for a life worth living. Absolutely 100%. I highly recommend the Becoming Your Greatest Possible Self podcast and suggest you add this to your list of must listen to podcasts. Thanks so much, Thomas. I appreciate you. And if you're listening right now, you want to give us a review, you want to let us know what you really love, what you feel could be improved on the show, go to beergps.com/iTunes and let us know there. Thanks so much in advance for doing that. Helps us grow. And while you're there, make sure you subscribe and rate, review, and get more of the latest episodes on Becoming Your Greatest Possible Self. Stay tuned in. I'm going to introduce Bethany in just a minute here. Like I said, though, make sure you stay all the way till the end. You're going to be able to grow your intuition, take some actions, and get some information on how to do that. Hear about Bethany's journey. It's going to be powerful. So make sure you stay tuned. It's going to be epic, epic, epic. You never know what one idea can really transform your life. So all the way through till the end, finish what you start, and just know I love you. Grab a piece of paper, grab a pen, take notes, because this is the gold. Let's introduce Bethany, and we'll bring her on the screen. I am totally opening up her intro right now. Bethany Hanna, aka BethanyLove Hanna, is a force to be reckoned with. She helps to connect high achievers to their own inner voice. Love is her passion. In all that she does, she will leave you feeling loved, connected, and inspired. In her presence, you will experience the fun of life. There is so much juicy goodness in there. Oh my gosh. Bethany, are you ready to rock the house, girl?
I am so ready.
We are now live on Becoming Your Greatest Possible Self. Thank you for being here, and we're just gonna dive right into this juicy conversation because we're talking about how to not die. Make sure you don't die with your music still inside of you. No. So Bethany, what does that mean for you, superstar?
Oh my gosh. I was reading that earlier and I was like, wow, I really like that I'm on this episode because I'm all music. I'm like, this is perfect. Perfect. That means to me is that like each one of us is this unique individual energy signature who came here to impact the world in such an amazing way. And if we don't connect to our inner voice, we don't connect to what that purpose is that we came here to have and experience, then we're going to let that music die in us, like you're saying, because it's like, we can only play that symphony. We can only play that tune. That's what we came here to be. So that's what it means to me.
So good. I love it. I love it. Just absolutely ignite and connect with that inner voice. We're going to be figuring out how to do that. So Bethany, tell us a little bit more about what your clients come to you for, how you serve them, and what you stand for.
Okay. Yeah. So, a lot of people, like clients that come to me, are basically, they're just struggling with, really feeling like they're connected to their purpose, or really feeling like, they're living in this world, but they're just like existing. They're at a standstill. They want to feel life again. They want to feel more like connected to life, and they want to know, what am I really here for? And I hear that over and over and over and over again. And I just am like, well, no one can tell you. Only you can. So I am able to help guide you back to your own inner voice by ways that I've done for myself, because it's been my journey, and why I'm so happy right now. I want to teach you what I did for me and how you can apply that type of knowledge to yourself and then find that journey for your own, for you.
I love this. I just made a post about this. Like, do you think your purpose just hits you in the face one day? No, it like really does. It really takes work. It takes, refinement. It takes listening, going within, and especially with people like you, Bethany, to help facilitate that
Yeah.
discovery, that self-discovery, that self-awareness, it's essential. It's like, it's almost like impossible to do it on our own, or if we do it, it'll take a really long time because it's left to our own devices. We're going to do what's comfortable. We're going to do what's easy. And why take the long road? Take the shortcut, take the fast track, tap into the people, the wisdom of mentors and leaders and coaches like Bethany, so that you can get there faster. So that is gold. I love it, love it, love it. And let's go back in your journey and talk about, how did you get to where we are today? How did you become this force of love, this force of inner knowingness, and sharing that with other people and helping them activate that? Tell us about that, Bethany.
Okay, for sure. So, so basically all this transpired from the last like 4 or 5 years, maybe longer, of my life, where I just started having this inner shift where I just like not happy anymore. And I was just like, there has to be more to life than this. And I was stuck in a not very good relationship. And I was just, it was taking me down, but I was like, I started to actually go and study and like, what else is out there? Because this, whatever's there is not aligning with me.
Yeah.
And I started to go more within and started to like do research. But then as that, I was doing research on different things, different ancient practices. It then started to guide me back to me. And I started using those tools to really find out what do I really want in this world? What did I come here to do? And it's been a journey. Like you said, it's not easy. But it can be easier if you have people like you and I and other people that are there like, hey, I can help you to guide you back to yourself, you know? So that's how that started. And it's been a compilation of, like I said, about the last 4 or 5 years. I've done a few different businesses, health and wellness stuff, but I really was always wanted to do mind, body, spirit, because I were all three. And they didn't resonate with me. The like where you just kind of have the one piece. I just really wanted to do something where I felt I could help people to connect to that inner voice the way I learned how to. And so that's how everything transpired into what I'm doing now. But it took a lot, like even up till last year, I had to go do some soul searching. I had to go near the water to really like hear, what is it that I want? Like I'm 34 years old and what am I doing that's really in alignment with me? What do I really want to do? And it took some undoing.
Yeah, that's powerful.
Kind of this fall where I kind of had a download of like, Breathe Love was the name, Breathe Love. And I was like, you know, they always said, all the mentors and leaders out there, you will not work a day in your life if you start doing something that you really would do for free. And so I started to just do what I already do for people and put it in a business. So it's still evolving, you know, but it's everything that I've always done is like what people are like drawn to me for. So I'm like, why not like do something you're passionate about that's not work, that literally empowers people to be them.
Wow. There's so much gold in there. I want to recap that, because like when you're living your purpose, it really, it's, you're still going to have to show up. You're still going to have days where you don't want to do it, but you'll know that there's something bigger at stake. There's a bigger purpose. There's more fun. There's more passion. You come alive rather than saying, I don't know why I'm doing this, but I gotta do it. I gotta pay the bills. I gotta keep the lights on, whatever it might be, you know? And I really think that when people discover what's their music within them, what's their gifts, what's their purpose, like you were talking about, like that is what's going to set them on fire and make it so much easier and so much more fulfilling and juicy of a journey. And I wanted to dive back a little bit in terms of the ancient practices that you talked about. Like, what did you look for when you were unfulfilled, when you were hurt, when you were lost? Like, how did you know what steps to take? What did you try in the beginning that worked or didn't work?
So for me, it was basically how I got talked to and how I like trained my intuition is like, it's always the next step. It's never the complete picture. So I would just take the little pebbles that I felt were being thrown at me. So for me, a lot of times it would come through a book or a song or just something would pop up on YouTube. I'm like, wait, that looks interesting. And I would go down that rabbit hole and listen. And then that would guide me to another, teacher or book or something. And that's kind of how my journey went. And then I would get, started getting into learning about astrology and numerology and how that affected me and my energy. And then just like, connecting with nature and colors and just all these things, sacred geometry. There's just so many things out there that are hidden, or it's out there, but sometimes we consider it woo woo, or I wouldn't even touch it because of my upbringing. But then like I was just guided by people like you, say you were on YouTube, and I liked your personality and what you're talking about. So I felt drawn to you. So you as a personality then opened up that knowledge to me. So then I went and searched that knowledge more, if that makes sense. So normally it's through like a song or a book, and I'm drawn to that person who's doing it.
Yeah, and I also hear that like the energy, when you are in resonance with people's energy, their enthusiasm, their joy, their fun, their love, like you're like, ooh, I like that. That feels good. It's awakening me. I want more of that. And then you learn more about what they're doing, you know, and what they're teaching and how they're inspiring and impacting the world. So I think that's incredible. And what you mentioned is probably a big link for today's talk, which is you would just notice these little hints, these subtle things, and listen to those. And like whatever that next step or that moment was that called to you, you'd ride the wave. You'd follow that lead, that intuition, and keep discovering what else it had in store for you.
Yeah, exactly. Well put, Chris.
Exactly. I love it. So awesome. So this is gold, and I want to dive into more about what you feel people need to do to like really awaken and grow their own intuition. Where do we start with that?
Yeah. So basically, it first comes from like the desire to connect more and to hear, like to be more connected. So once you open that up, it's like you open that up for this, because that intuition is always there. It's kind of like muscles or different things. It's always there, but it's like hidden. Like it's small. It's there. But so in order for it to grow, you have to start actually interacting with it. So it's like when you wake up in the morning and you have this desire, right? Like let's just give an example. You wake up and you hear, call this person, and you don't do it. And later on, you find out something happened. And you're like, man, I should have listened, or so once you do that one thing, right, I get another intuitive hit. It's like, okay, she listened. So there's going to be another thing. Oh, you know what? Maybe send this person a note, or maybe you should take out the trash. Something really small, right? Like you're getting like this intuition to be more present and more loving. So you do it. And then you're like, wow, that felt really good. It's exact. And the person goes, hey, that's exactly what I needed to hear right now. Thank you so much for sending me that message. Or thank you so much for taking out the trash, because I wanted to ask you to do it, but I forgot. And it really blessed me that you did it. So those seem really little things. Yeah. Really, those little things, the more you listen to those little nudges, the stronger it grows. And it becomes like this voice that's there all the time. But it's always been there, but you've drowned it out through all this loudness and not connecting. So that's what I would say would be start. Normally we're like being talked to by that. It's like the loving side of ourselves. It's like, hey, maybe you should, it's the thing that's basically you're going out of your way that's not a normal that everybody does to do something. And it's usually very small, but once you do that, then it just grows, right? That awesome. Sounds like really minimal, but it really is the more you do it. So the next time when you're like driving down the road and you hear, slow down or something, or you like just get this thing, I should slow down. You should probably slow down and not speed up, because there's a reason behind it. Those little things, the more you listen to it, they just grow. And then you usually when we're not really awakened to that, we're like, oh man, I did get that and I didn't do it. And then you start beating yourself up. But when you actually start listening, you start feeling more in flow with life. And then magic starts to happen. You start seeing signs. Everybody sees it differently. You could see it through like, books, license plates, people showing up in your life, synchronicities, numbers. It could be colors. It could be a fragrance. It could be anything. It's really whatever draws your attention back to you, and however the spirit world can connect with you and to your inner voice, that's what's used. Because every single person is completely different, but just listen. So the first thing, when you hear a little nudge, listen to that nudge.
Wow, that's awesome. And I hear it's like the little things, noticing those little things. And I think a lot of people might take that for granted, and they might overlook that, and they might say, it's no big deal, or, how do I actually do it? They might make it overcomplicated and more of a hassle than it actually is. And it's really just, hey, be still, listen, be in tune with what is coming up. What are your emotions? What are your feelings? What are your thoughts? And I think a lot of people have just, it's been so long since they've listened to those things that they've like
Right.
drowned it out. They've canceled it out, numbed it out, and they don't hear it anymore. So I think it's really powerful just to get the reminder, hey, just slow down and pay
Right.
attention.
Right.
Yeah.
100%, like 100%. We all have it. It's just growing the muscle.
Yeah, it's a muscle. That's it. A lot of us have been overstimulated with like technology and stuff. So really get into a space of paying attention when you're doing other things and when you're out, especially in nature. I think that's one of the biggest places to get back in connection with that intuition and being able to hear it.
Yeah, 100%. I really recommend. I tell people every time on my lives, if you ever hop on my lives or see them, I'm always like, go out in nature for at least 15 minutes. It's like, because it really does, you connect to that energy, and regardless of where it's at, you feel like this freedom and you feel more connected. And it does, it really does open that. And because of today's day and age, where I feel like consciousness is shifting and we're definitely moving more back towards that, because we've become so detached as a world that we're like now like yearning for that connection. And so they're going back out in nature more. They're working out more. I can say that because I go to the gym and like it's full all the time, or I go out in nature and I see more people walking and running. So I do think there's a shift happening. But it's just because we're inside so much that we really disconnect from life force, because we are life itself. And when we go and connect with the outdoors, it like really just brings this settling energy, and it's like this calmness and this flow state.
Beautiful. And we had Bogdan Rosu, who's going to be on the show on the marathon in just a bit. He said, "Hey, Bethany." And he said, "Question, what does it mean when you look at the clock and it's synchronous? Like 21-21, 17-17, 11-11.
Yeah. So it really, what I say is I don't know all the numbers by heart of what like normally it's always like higher. It's like your guardian angels, or you want to say your guides or your intuition guiding you to know that they're connecting to you, and that you're on. Sometimes it's like you're on the right path, or whatever those numbers mean. They're emphasized. So when a number is repeated, that quality of the number is emphasized. So like 1 is leadership, independence. 7 is like go as personal growth and stuff like that, and going within. So you combine those numbers and you see what they mean. So you just look it up. You look up angel numbers on Google and see, what does this mean? And then you take what resonates with you.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's going to be other blogs that are going to be like ones that you're not going to resonate with as well. So it's just like people, they maybe have the same message, but it's not the same message because it's different energy. So if you're seeing repeating numbers, that means you're being communicated to like higher source spirits, and that they're with you. So just pay attention to that. And if you're seeing a number repeating, go look up what it means, and it's really going to give you a message.
That's gold. Great stuff.
Yeah.
Bogdan, let us know if that answered your question, if you had any more. And Bethany, in terms of like really developing our connection with ourselves, what else would you recommend to connect back within, to stop being so externally dependent and circumstantial? How do we know who we are really?
Right. So I would say that find something that you love to do that has nothing to do with any like gadgets or anything, just being with your body. And you can use any type of tool you want, but whatever you're like initially drawn to, because everybody's going to be different. So for me, I've used journaling, crystals, colors, walking a lot. Those things have helped me. But every single person, those are ones that can help you. But you need to find out what you're being drawn to. Like, so maybe for you, it's painting. One of you like to paint and you feel like really alive and connected when you do that, then do that. For some other people, it might be creating music. Then go out and just get in a room and sing or create with that's connecting back to yourself, because that's divine energy flowing. And then you're going to start getting downloads. And some other people, it might be running. It might be outside just walking. It could be any of those things, but taking that time, whatever it is, where when you were a kid or things that you want to do more of that you're not doing because you're too busy and you got to take care of this, that's the pool. Start with that. So whatever it is, maybe it's go play basketball. And then once you play basketball, you're like, okay, I want to go, maybe go, not watch a movie, but maybe you want to go journal, or you want something that you like to do afterwards, but go move. So whatever it is, start with that. And then that's going to lead you to the next thing. I do it like in the morning, if you could connect to yourself, take time to be quiet, go in nature, something, or just like sit with yourself and say like words of affirmation or just being grateful, that can help connect you to your spirit. So I always really, I'm a big believer in doing something like that in the morning because it starts your energy off, but any of those things, because every person's unique and different.
Yeah. And speaking of being like unique and different, I know one thing that you're doing is like sending these customized boxes to people to facilitate their growth and become their greatest possible self. Can you share anything about that right now?
Yeah, for sure. So I have two things that I'm doing right now. I have the customized boxes that like spirit guided me to do is like basically in a box, what I've used, tools that I've used to connect with myself, I want to share with you guys, but I base it off, like I have you send a video to me, answering some questions. And I literally, because I'm an intuitive, just like all of you can be, if you tap into yourself. But I look at the video and I basically am able to see what it is you need based on like, if you're saying I need more understanding, then I look at the best crystals for you for understanding. I use like my intuition to ask which one of these crystals that are for understanding are best for this person right now. Yeah. And that's how I do it. And then what color is it they need to be working with? Because color is super important with our subconscious. So you're needing more like compassion, then maybe you need pink. You need to work with pink, something like that. So I go off everything that you're answering off the questions where you're struggling, what's your problems and what you want to develop. And based off those questions, those answers, then I create a box with items such as those things that are going to help you. And I always include journaling because journaling is such a even powerful tool to like get your emotions out. Even if you don't feel like writing, like just putting something down and starting making a habit, because then it becomes slowly. So those are some of the things that I put in there, but that's how I go about doing it because everyone's unique. So yes, there may be a stone for like love, but there's like 10 of them. And you need the energies of one of them. So I do that off of my own intuition based off your response.
That's
and then
awesome.
Sacred geometry, numerology, and then affirmations that I create specifically for you based off of what you've just shared with me. They're gonna.
So did you mention, you said you had two types of boxes? Did you mention them both in there?
Yeah, so that's the customized. The other boxes are launching in May, and they're going to be based on the first 12 are going to be based on the chakras, the 7 chakras, and the other high ones, and then connecting with strengthening those. So they'll have crystals, journals, like smudging materials, and then sacred geometry with them, and then some other little cool thing in it, maybe like bath crystals or something like that. But basically, they're going on the basis of the color and working with the color of the chakra and how to strengthen that.
And is that going to be like a monthly subscription or one time?
Monthly subscription, and it's going to be $36 a month, and that's my vibration, and everything's included. So no shipping, no tax. It's all included in one price.
Wow, that's awesome.
It's going to be the first one, and then later on there'll be other monthly subscriptions. But that's
but it's such a good idea because the subscription model is like in vogue right now, right? Like the Dollar Shave Club, and these different models where you can get the product delivered every month, but it's something that's new. It's something that's fresh. People are getting outfits delivered every month. They're getting shoes. They're getting accessories. Whatever else it might be. So I think it's the perfect time because we're living in this evolving and enlightened age in society where people are concerned about these things, and they know, hey, I know there's power-ups to help me grow, to help me evolve, to help me upgrade my energy and my being, and step into my greatest possible self.
Yeah. So it's pretty exciting, actually. I'm pretty excited, I have to say.
Yeah, that's honestly the upgrade mentality. I played a ton of video games growing up, right? So I loved video games, and I was always trying to upgrade my character and the equipment and things like that. And I recognized that everything around us, our environment, has an effect on us. Plus our thoughts have an effect on us. So, and our emotions and all that good stuff. And like, I think when we take advantage of the tools and the resources and the different crystals and patterns and geometry and numbers and all these different things that can impact our well-being and our happiness and our fulfillment, like we really get to take full advantage of that.
Yeah, so it's basically like, just to reiterate what you're saying, I love how you put that. It's like, because they are affecting us all the time. We just don't know it on a conscious level. So now
Yes.
you get to be like the creator of how it's affecting you instead of being the like respondent of it. You get to create how it's affecting you instead of just like, when you watch commercials and stuff and they use specific colors to work with your subconscious.
Yeah.
Now you can start doing that on a level for yourself to empower yourself to the next level.
Yeah, music too. Music has a huge
A
impact
big thing.
on our mind. And if there's like dramatic or scary or horror music playing in a movie,
Right.
like our body starts to feel tense and like, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen? But if it's like joyous, exciting energy, it could be this music. It could be the same picture, the same video, but it would change how we feel.
Yeah, it's
And I
the
think
vibration.
yeah, and I think a lot of people can tap into their intuition to feel like what are they sensing around them, what's the music like around them, what's the music of their environment, is there like a jackhammer going outside, is that going to be peaceful and feel good for you, or do you hear birds chirping, do you hear the wind rustling or the water flowing, like what is it that's going to really have you come alive, and figuring out what are those elements as well that are your natural elements that you need. A lot of people who are very thinking a lot and in their head and not grounded and not calm and centered and peaceful probably need to get to some rocks and go like out to nature, go hiking, and get that energy in their life.
Yeah, I love that. That's such an important piece, the elements. And I was reading something yesterday. There's this intuition book and developing your powers. Like it's like they say psychic powers, but your intuitive powers. It's just connection, right? And it was saying that so every person, just like you said, is so unique, and what your energies needs, because your energy signature is completely different from the next. And say I have a daughter, and she's completely drawn to a different element than I am, because that's what her body needs. So for me, I love to be by water, specifically the ocean. That's where I need to be. And for her, it's more like mountains. And so that's really pay attention to that, because that's your spirit telling you what you need to really grow and be that next version of yourself. You could be anywhere, but if you're drawn to that, it's because that's what your body needs. Some people need more sun, some people need less sun.
Yeah. And how do people use journaling to discover and become more aware of themselves and their intuition?
Because with journaling, it's at first it may be just you don't know what to do. You're just sitting there. But as you make it a habit, it allows the thoughts to start flowing out. And at first it'll be your mental thoughts, but then you're going to start having thoughts that are flowing from your spirit. And as you practice it, it allows the flow to start in your life, if that makes sense. So then you're actually oh, wow, this is in me. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then the other good thing about it is with journaling, you can use it for affirmations and stuff. And it's re-speaking, because you have to be your own best friend. You have to be the love of your life. And if you can't really get to know yourself. You have to get to know yourself. And how do you get to know yourself? Until you start finding out what's inside of you. And you can do that by journaling. And in the beginning, like I said, it's not always easy, because you're what do I write?
Right.
It's music. But then as you continue to make it a habit, you're then it's your body's okay, you want to do it, and it's flowing. And maybe with you, it's not actually writing. Maybe it's drawing. Some people it's pictures, or maybe it's just coloring something out. But that can be a journaling type too. So I don't want you to get in a box of journaling, but taking it out and using it to bring out the creativity that's in your mind.
Yeah, that's awesome. It is. Would you say that being an intuitive coach is the same thing as being a coach that teaches intuition, or is it different? Is like how you use your intuition, that you are intuitive? Is there a differentiation?
I think it could be one and the same. It depends on how the person is, because I would think if you can guide someone to learn intuition, but you can't teach them how to be intuitive. They have to learn. I have to give you the tools, and I'm an intuitive, so I know I'm being guided. Okay, this is what you need, but then you actually have to take the steps.
Right.
I would say that they could be you could teach someone how to be intuitive, by giving them the tools, but you're not, if that makes sense. It's hard to explain. You can't really, it's just like me, knowing God, or, I can't tell you how to know God, because it's in you. Right. So I would say it's one and the same. To me, it's one and the same.
That's awesome. Awesome. And as far as love and this energy of love, why is that so important for you? Why did it play such a prominent role in your life?
Yes, because well, ultimately, since I was a kid, I always knew like everybody, like I didn't agree with certain things growing up, but I was just like, if God is love, then everyone is love and we should be loving each other. And that's like on a deeper level, it's unconditional and there shouldn't be any, and as I grew and I experienced a lot of pain in my life, I still was able to love someone even in the midst of it, and then detach myself from the experience. But then learning how to remove myself and love yourself, right? Enough to know that even if you love someone, you don't have to be in their life. You can just send them that energy. But love became such an important, like I've always just been drawn to it. And when I was like 15 in high school, I wanted to change my name to Love. And I do believe we all come here with a specific journey and a specific gift to give the world. We all are, regardless if you believe it or not, we all have our own beliefs, but we come from a source of absolute love. And so all of us is the essence, we are love. But we're so, we have to remove all this stuff that's in the world to find it. And for me, my message to the world was to share and spread love. Like that's who I am. I'm to embody love. That's my path. That's my purpose. So that's why I'm so drawn to it. And it's not the word, it's the action and it's the feeling that you give people so that, like it is a word, but like it's so much more than a word.
Yeah.
That makes sense?
Yeah, it does. It's the
But that's why, like, literally, I think that I came, like, if you've ever watched, I've watched some of Beyonce's stuff. You know how they have those like YouTube videos? I don't know if it's Evan Carmichael or who it is. But, well, how did you know? Like what she's like, I believe I was just born that way. I was born to be a star. That's what I was meant to be. And I believe just like you're meant to be out there. Like you knew, like it took a while, but you're meant to inspire people. Like that's what you came. So like, the word inspiration is like you.
Yeah.
That makes sense. And so like you embody that because that was your life path.
So good. I love it. What was one of the times that you felt like really afraid to get to your next level, to evolve, to grow into your like next level of consciousness, and how did you get through it?
I would say that, the past, not really, a little bit the past couple of years, but in the first was like, would say like 2014. And I was like, what, I basically had come from a concept of certain beliefs growing up in a Christian home. And it was like being surrounded by a family that had those same beliefs and knowing that those are truths. It's just on another level, that it was okay for me to accept my journey of wanting to go out and learn about astrology and numerology and read books that was like basically I was looked down on for reading when I was a kid. When I shifted was like, it's not bad there. And you know what was the book that shifted that for me? It was called Relationship with God by Donal Walsh. And I read his stuff, but like read it and it was like God talking to him. And we all have that, but it was like, it was such a big awakening. I had this big shift and it was like, it doesn't matter what they think anymore. Like you don't have to please them. You don't have to please them anymore. And that's when it really started my path of really opening up my heart to all these truths that really resonated. So it was when I decided that one book really just opened my heart up. And that book allowed me to shift.
Yeah. That's so good.
I made the decision to not look back.
I love it. So good. And you're putting out a ton of inspiring content on your profile. I always see you doing videos and inspiring people and sharing your love and really making the difference for them. Where did that drive come from?
So basically I've done that behind the scenes my whole life. When I'm here to like inspire, but it's always been in my heart. Like I just want to love and get give words of affirmation to people because I know it affects them. Like in my heart's telling me to do it. So I do it for people and I send them messages. They'll be like, oh my God, you're this. And it's just something I've always done. I've always wanted to do like gift giving and all that. Right. Those are things that I've always done. And then recently, right after, so basically it's said that when you start down your path, the whole universe will conspire to give you what you're out to do. Right. So I started sharing more on Facebook and that, because right before my event, I wanted to talk about that I just did. I wanted to talk about the women speakers. And then Spirit came up and was like, hey, people could really use knowing how much they are appreciated. And I think you should do it every day.
Wow.
Like every day. Every day, that's a big commitment. To honor someone. And so literally it was Spirit giving me, just like it gave me the nudge to do Breathe Love Box, was to, people need this. People need to be acknowledged. People need to know. And so that was just literally unveiled like about 3 weeks ago. And I just said, okay, I'm doing it. I'm going to do this. I don't know of anybody else that's doing it. So obviously it's needed. I've never seen it. So of getting on and on, you know what I'm saying? Like in that way, because that was Spirit guiding me to be me. That's it, to share my love with you. So that was how that transpired.
It's beautiful. And I know you're also a really great connector. You're putting together events with these beautiful women. You're introducing me to amazing people. You're just phenomenal connecting. And where did that drive come from?
Because it's I think I just love seeing people thrive. I love you do. I love seeing people be their greatest version. It really inspires me, because that's like what I'm here to do. And I just have this gift of seeing someone and knowing someone they should connect with, or I'll see something. It's like a real intuitive hit. And I'm like, okay, I want to connect them. And the drive comes because I want our world to be a better place. And I know when you make connections, people are currency, like you say, like relationships is what I always said. Relationships are currency. So if you can connect, I don't know what it may lead up to, but I'm going to give you that introduction, because you might create something cool. And it's just that drive for us to all be more connected and to live all of us a better life. That's where the comes from.
And what inspired you to start hosting your own events and putting these things together, putting people on platforms,
So for a long time, I've always known I'm supposed to do it. I just haven't done it because I was afraid. And I was like, well, what do I have to share? And who am I? And all these things. And as I started to read my charts in astrology and numerology, it actually points that I'm supposed to be in front of people, and that I'm supposed to events, and that I'm supposed to connect people. Like, that's my gift. And I was like, okay, it's written in the stars. And I'm like, okay, so I'm supposed to do it. And I'm literally doing the world a disservice and myself by not, even if I fail, right? I'm still trying, and it's going to eventually. But if you don't go out and put yourself out there, you'll never know. And maybe there was someone you could have touched. So that, it's been there for a while, for probably a few years that I've been knowing, but it's just I'm like, how do I do it? I need to have more money. I need to do this. And I'm like, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to do it. And and what really happened when this started is I put on a vision board back it was November. I put on the vision board exactly what I wanted to do this year, and I'm doing everything that I put on. So the power of that is amazing.
Yeah. So the vision and getting clear on your intentions. Tell us more about that.
Yeah. So basically, all of us, right? And I'm just going to include you in this conversation. It's really, there's a lot going on in the world, and a lot of us are good at a lot of different things. And we're getting, you could do this business, you could do this business, you could do this business, right? But I had to get back to my heart and be like, what, you're 35 now, 35 years old. What do you really want? What do you want this year to look like? Yeah. So I sat down and was like, what resonates with my heart? What do I need to do? What have I been talking about for a while that I haven't put into action? So I literally just, and I had a really good friend in my life that's great at manifesting and just putting your intentions out there, but writing them down. And I was like, okay, I know when I write it, I think there's this internal thing, when you write it down, it actually happens, even though it does. Yep. So I put it down and I was like, all right. And I just became really intentional. I said, you know what? I'm changing my life, and whatever happens, these are what I'm going to do. Regardless of the outcome, I'm doing it. I put it on there, and right within the month, everything was on board starting. And it's not like it's just completely, peaches and cream. What happens is that you wake up with the fervor to keep pushing, to keep doing it. And then the people come along like you, and that are like, hey, I'm really seeing what you're doing. And it encourages me to keep going. And then people that it's impacting, where I'll get a message, say on Facebook or something like, hey, you really impacted me today. So it encourages me. And then when I did our last event, definitely was not the outcome, the amount of people I was looking to have there, but my point of the event was to have impact
Yeah.
and inspiration and connection. And that's exactly what happened. And everybody that showed up was highly, highly impacted.
Mm. Yeah,
So
that's it's one of the most difficult things when we're building a brand and out to change the world is we can get so frustrated in the beginning about the numbers, getting caught up with the numbers, but it's not about the numbers. It's about really making that deep impact and that difference in one person's life and more. As I say, as long as we impact at least one person's life in every interview that we do in every hour of this 12-hour marathon, then it's a success. If we
yeah,
make the difference, then it's a success, and it's
yeah,
to really celebrate that and to feed that little seed of intention and seed of greatness that we might be right now, which eventually blossoms into being the Tony Robbins or Marie Forleo or Gary Vaynerchuk, whoever, right? Being that person of the world takes putting in the time and the energy, investing into
right.
who we're becoming.
Correct. Yeah. And it's all a journey, right? So I really appreciate you putting it back like that for me and also for the people that are listening, because it really is the journey. It's never a destination. And now I'm starting to learn like to congratulate myself or like the coach that I have and people in my life, like, hey, you just did that. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
And so it's great to have you saying that, or for me to say it to you, like, good job. Like, you've come so far since like I met you, I think 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Like blowing up. I'm like, wait, what are you doing? Wait, this is complete, like the same energy, but wow.
Yeah.
Because you continue to master your craft.
Yeah. And it's so easy to compare ourselves too. Like I compare myself to other podcasters and people with big platforms. I'm sure you compare yourself or have at times to people who, are so like highly evolved and they have this big following and they're able to awaken people like snapping their fingers, It's like, how do I get there?
Right. Yeah, I do. I'm like, okay, nope. Okay, on me. What are you doing right now?
Yes. And that's the energy of acceptance and love and embracing this present moment, I believe, is what opens up the space to receive even bigger. If we feel scarcity or lack or unworthiness or whatever it might be, shame, guilt, like that stuff keeps us small and doesn't allow us to open up to receive even greater. So it's like really practicing on the small things is what opens us up for the bigger things.
Right. 100%, 100%. And I feel like relationships for me, it's like sometimes we're looking for abundance like right away financially, but we're getting the abundance in the connections. We're getting the abundance in relationships. We're getting the abundance in our own personal growth. And we're like learning. We have all this learning that we just achieved. And then just, it's starting to flow. But sometimes people, even me, I have like, but now I'm on this path of what I'm truly believe I'm supposed to be on. So it's harder to derail. But it's like, you're like, well, I should be doing this quicker. And like, how come they're over here? And you like get back to like, I'm completely different than them and you're completely different. And we have our own paths.
Yeah. And especially acknowledging that, celebrating that, the abundance. I love how you said that, the abundance of connections. For me, it's like, I really love learning. And so a lot of my life, I was like, how do I keep learning? And I invested these tens of thousands of dollars into personal development and events, that like we go to together. And then at a certain point, I'm like, man, I just don't feel like I'm getting the return on investment of it. I keep putting money in, but I don't see like the big money explosion that I was expecting. And so I started to really appreciate what I'm getting with this 12-hour marathon, that it's like, it's my own customized seminar every 12-hour, every week.
Something completely different.
Exactly. I get to learn anything that I want to learn and have like my favorite people on and have conversations with them and like share that love and share, there's the energetic growth. I might not necessarily see it or be able to measure it, but every time I have a conversation with you or other awesome guests, like my soul expands. Like we are having fun. We know we're living our purpose. We are delivering our message through this medium, through this platform, and it's making a difference. So every live that you do, every blog post, like just that is your purpose. That is your work in the world. And to just really embrace that, hey, I'm actually living my purpose by communicating my truth, by sharing this and inspiring other people, whether it's 1 like or 100 likes, it doesn't matter what the amount is. You can appreciate every step forward.
Yeah, I like that 100%. It's like gold. Cold,
I
cold for
love
sure.
it. I
Really,
love it.
like
Just
it is. It's like so fun being on here, and I can just feel your energy through the computer, your eyes. You're just complete love and compassion and inspiration. Like that's who you are. And I've never heard of something like what you're doing, and I think it's completely amazing and unique. And you're like making such a big impact.
Thank you, Bethany. I appreciate it, and I want to hear what is the big focus for you for the rest of the year. What you mentioned, plan some awesome things out at the beginning of the year. What else do you have in store?
Right. So really, honestly, to be honest, I have the next event coming up in about a month, and so my complete, sorry, I don't know how to do this, complete focus on that event and making it impactful for people and getting the people there that need to be in front of these people that I'm bringing. Like just to say, like say I brought you as a person to be a speaker, like it's my job to get the people there that need to be impacted by you, that need to hear your voice. And so like for me, that's the biggest like focus right now for the next month. And then the rest of the year, like as I'm launching the boxes in May, is to really focus on product development and seeing what people really like, and based off of like what their responses to those boxes is, to really get that box, the subscription boxes launched and successful and really impacting people. So I'm literally only honed in on that. So, if someone wants to invite me to speak or come to their event or whatever and just like, that's cool, but I'm not going to be putting on there might be something in the fall, like winter time, after I've really gotten things up and running with the boxes, that I might do like a retreat or something, but it's going to have like, there's a couple other things that, are behind the burner, but like I have to remain focused.
Stay focused. Yeah.
Really goes, then there's going to be other things that come from it. That's beautiful. My really complete focus, because I just really see my mission is to empower 9 million women to connect with their internal voice. That doesn't mean that I don't talk to men. It just means that my goal, because you have to have your avatar that you talk to. Totally. So like it's a pretty big goal. Not saying right now, but like to have those type of goals, you have to stay focused.
That's right. And what for you, Bethany, what are you going to double or triple down on that's been working for you to get people to live events, that's been getting people to engage, getting people to sign up for your offers? What are you going to double and triple down on the next month or 3 months?
I would say more content of me, like speaking to people more lives, and then more, I'm going to be creating YouTube videos. So more of me, like people getting to know me, because that's what really draws people to my boxes or my events. So just really like connecting with myself and creating that authentic content for people, so they know who I am and want to like actually learn about what I can offer them to connect with themselves. So that's what I'm going to be doubling. It's like a lot of YouTubing, creating, learning. I have someone that I hired to help me with, just assisting in video editing. She does that. So, I like what you do, and I would like to like know a little bit more. I've never done a podcast or anything. So, but like YouTube is where I feel like I'm going to have my message.
Yeah, because it's the energy of seeing you. You're very animated. You're very like, you got big presence on camera, so it's really utilize that. And YouTube is one of the ways to capture that and deliver it to people in the convenience of their own home and in their own life.
Yeah. So that's that. And then just the lives and wherever, and, even on Instagram, just making sure that I'm out there and being consistent with being on there, inspiring and spreading love, because that's when people start feeling connected to you, and in a community, that's when it starts growing everything else. So first you just have to give good content and good love, like love or inspiration. And that's what I feel. So that's what my focus is outside of creating those boxes.
And who would you say are the people who can really support you in getting the videos and lives and Instagrams out to even more people? Like, who are the strategic relationships that you want to develop?
You mean people that I have, or in my own like communities, or people out there that I want to get to know?
Either way, whatever is going to be the most
I would say like probably, I know a lot of great, like you, different people that are already on that like alignment, is like really developing those relationships and how we can serve each other. So say I have 10 of you, or Gerald, you just had Gerald on.
Yeah, you rocked it.
So he was like, anything you may need help with, let me know. And he's a big influencer. So, really, and then like Allison Hilbright and Bill Walsh, just different people that I have is like utilizing that to whatever they have going on to like share my stuff and ask people to basically how they can share my stuff and how I can support them and share their stuff. So basically making it a win-win.
Win-win, yeah.
I feel like we all have warm audiences. We do, which is kind of what network marketing does, but we can do it like an affiliate marketing, but it's not really affiliate marketing, where we're basically just giving back to each other and spreading each other's message. So I feel like if I can create, maybe there's 10 people that I know really resonate with what I'm doing, then and I resonate with what you're doing, then finding those and then sharing each other's content and then, and talking about, because the best thing is having a third party endorsement. So I think that's like, I don't think even like, I've been talking to some people that do a lot of Facebook. They're like, people are really not responding to them anymore because they're just so overwhelmed. People want the connection. So I feel like, having introductions like, hey, if like, say I popped in your mind for someone like you thought that they could use, or like me, you popped in my mind. Like I have probably 10 more people I'm going to send for this, and they can do whatever they want from this.
Yeah.
But it's like, when you think of it, like, okay, hey, let me connect them to that person when you have time, like, because I think that's where the introductions, those warm introductions.
Yeah. Yeah. So gold. I love it. So we want to know, how do we stay connected? What are the next steps that we can take with you, Bethany?
Okay, awesome. So I don't know if you have the links up there, but so breathelovebox.com is basically where you can order your custom formulated box if you want to really get on that journey. And then I actually create some videos of how to like work with it, and I send that through email. And then also you can connect with me on Instagram at BethanyLove Hanna. I really like, that's a big place where I'm growing. And then Facebook, BethanyLove Hanna. Like it's really those places. I mean, I could give you my number, but I'm really like, I feel like social is better, or just connecting and ordering through there.
One thing I did want to mention as well, I know I talked to you about my girlfriend's event that's coming up. I think I'm just like, I don't know why I didn't think about it before, but I think that the audience of empowered women and, spiritual women would be a really great fit for the Love Box as well. So I want to get you two into a conversation and see, what we can do in terms of promoting that for you and helping you get the message out about that. Because I think there would be some great women to support you with that.
Yeah, I think that'd be awesome. I definitely felt some good synergy with I looked at the page and I was like, wow, I love these girls. So that would be great. But yeah, like, I mean, that's basically it. I mean, right now my YouTube, I'm just like creating it more. So there's not a lot of content up there, but if you follow me on any of those Facebooks or anything, like I'll be sharing the link and then you can go.
Awesome. Love it. Bethany, you're a superstar. Keep up the amazing energy and love, and just keep showing up. It's awesome. It's beautiful.
Thank you. And before I get off, how else can I help you, Chris?
How else? You're already doing amazing. Showing up here is incredible, and the introductions you're making are just awesome. I love you for making those introductions, always attracting amazing guests on the show, and you're super well connected. So how you can support me is keep doing what you're doing, keep inspiring the world, build your platform, build your presence, impact more people, because I want us to rise to the top together. Win-win. Let's go.
All right. Love you. Have a great day. Love you all.
I'll see you soon.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.